Hey friends, it's Joe from DadBod. Today it's 68 degrees in Tokyo and it's about 5:07 in the morning. It's day 17 of the program, so we're going to go for a 1-mile recovery walk in the same place we always go. So let me pop you on my head and we'll get going. Good morning, everybody. We're still at it. We're still doing these things. It's amazing what consistency can feel like, right? Anyone sore? I am. Yeah, actually yesterday I had some surgeon interviews. So I think I've shared I work for Johnson & Johnson on robotic surgical technology, so I came out to Japan to better understand clinical unmet needs of surgeons and clinicians, and then I lead a team of engineers in the US to develop new products. But surgeons, as you can imagine, are very busy. It's even more, I would say, exaggerated in a Japanese context, just the amount of hours they work. So if we want to get feedback from clinicians, we often are chasing them, what I would say, after hours. So yesterday I was doing interviews with surgeons from like 5 p.m. until 9. Yeah, around 9 p.m. And then I was out in like Ginza, which I haven't explored Ginza much. So it was very nice. I was in this taller building. But looking forward to going back there in the future for fun as opposed to work. See what's that? Alright, yeah, I was out in Ginza. Good morning, OG-san. Watch, by the end of this 16-week program, we're going to be best friends with OG-san. We're going to be talking. Problem is the language barrier. Like, my Japanese is limited. But yeah, anyway, I was out in Ginza till maybe 9 o'clock at night. So, like, my working hours were super strange. Like, I picked up my son. I dropped off my son at his school at 8:15. Worked until maybe 8:30 to 2 o'clock. I hit my exhaustion wall because I wake up at 4:30. So like by 2 o'clock I've been in my day for quite some time. So then I took a 40-minute nap, and then 2:40 go to pick up my son from school. Literally drop him off. He goes and hops on his Nintendo Switch. I pop on a suit, and then I book it out to Ginza and start all these interviews. Miss dinner, so I get back to my kind of living area around 9 o'clock. Maybe I only did interviews till 8. I think I only did 5 to 8 p.m. because I saw 3 surgeons, hour each, 5 to 8, yeah. So I get back around 9:30 to my station, and then I get dinner. So I went out for a ramen restaurant, but I got their garlic fried rice and gyoza. And then I get home around 10 o'clock at night. Do 30 minutes of video editing, file transfer kind of stuff. Basically getting all the content off my GoPro from these walks, naming all the files from the last 2 or 3 weeks. Go to bed stressed and strung out. Woke up at 4:30 and I was like, let's start again. But I during the interviews I did a lot of sitting because it would have been weird if I was standing up. And for me and my lower back problems, if I sit for a prolonged period of time, especially with poor posture, like if the chair isn't working for me, my body starts to twist up. Oh, I forgot to hit start. Well, I loosely know how far we've gone. But My body twists up, start to have discomfort. Suits are kind of constrictive, and I wear suits for all these interviews, so I do walk around differently. I'm not wearing athletic shoes. Like, all these things stack towards back discomfort. So I definitely woke up aware that something wasn't what it could be. Like, even this morning I'm like, oh, maybe I should stop and do a couple hinges, squeeze the walnut, get everything in the right place so that I can tuck my core and walk safely. But it's also a little bit catchy in the hip and back. Like, I'm glad I don't have to run today. I would be able to do it, but gotta work with my 31-year-old body. I'm sure throughout this program you've woken up sore, twisted up, confused and discouraged. I just want to encourage you, be consistent. Keep showing up, keep modifying things as you need to. It's not going to be a perfectly linear journey of progress. Kind of like it swirls and gets better over time. It's like the stock market, right? The stock market is great for long-term investments, but you don't want to make decisions off those quick little highs and lows. I mean, you can if you're trained in it, but typically it's not ideal. One of the things I love about Japan is they take care of the spaces they live in. It's like 5:15 and we've run into 2 people already that are out here sweeping, cleaning up the trails, making things nice and safe. So today we're gonna walk a mile. I set my walk tracker a little late, so I think we'll turn around right before we see the water. I don't think we need to go up the steps, if I recall. That might be too far. Sore and tired. So I have a treat for you. Not necessarily a treat for me. I'm trying to approach it as a treat, but I'm stressed out about it. I'm heading to Osaka today. Osaka's another city in Japan. It's about 2.5, 3 hours away by bullet train. Bullet trains are awesome. But because of that, I get to film 2 workouts in Osaka. I'll do our Moose Lift 1B, which I think is tomorrow. And then the day after, we have our fartlek. And if you've never been to Osaka, which I'm assuming most of you haven't, I think I can make things work where I can do both of these workouts in some nice scenic areas. Now it's fun, right? I'm like verbally committing to something I can't guarantee. So for all I know, life happens, these workouts don't happen, and I just stack my weekend back in Tokyo and it's the same boring Joe. But maybe it's really cool. So if we end up doing the lift workout, most Japanese hotels, and by most I mean almost all that I've experienced, don't have a gym. So in the US, most hotels will have a treadmill, sometimes some free weights, sometimes some better selection, depending on just how nice the hotel is. But in Japan, there's normally nothing. And for the places I'm staying, the answer is nothing. So what I have to do is modify our workouts to use resistance bands. So there'll be some improvisation. There might even be 1 or 2 exercises I just can't do. We'll see how it works out. I'm feeling it today. It's a good walk. But I'm planning on waking up super early and going to Osaka-jo, which is a giant traditional castle in Japan. And there's beautiful gardens and a moat around Osaka-jo. So we would basically like do some resistance band training with a nice scenic view of Osaka and the castle. Possibly. People run there all the time. Never seen anybody do strength workout. And I'm not sure the best spot to do that. And it will take me some time to get out there and then do the workout, get back, shower, and go to my surgeon stuff. But I think I should have enough time. It's in the maybe space. It would be cool if I do it. So who knows what tomorrow looks like. And then the next day we have our fartlek. And I know how much you love the fartlek. We're gonna turn around at this pole. I think we're close to a mile, right? 0.3. But then we missed. We'll go a little farther. Sorry if I walk you past a mile. I forgot to set my distance. But then the second day, and I'm trying not to be disappointed about it, because for you it'll actually probably be cool. There's this district in Osaka called Dontonbori. If you ever visit Osaka, you go to Dontonbori, and it is famous for eccentric street signs that are all like neon lit up with different like moving giant octopuses, and then there's a little river where people ride on a boat and bang on drums. There's even like a vertical Ferris wheel that overlooks it, and there's tons of shops. You can get takoyaki, which are these. Actually, I had a conversation with some American and Japanese colleagues about this. One of my Japanese colleagues is like, what is the English word for takoyaki? And I was like, the English word for takoyaki is takoyaki. Like, it is just a Japanese thing. The two crude comparisons we have would be that it is an octopus cake pop or an octopus hush puppy. So they have these griddles that have these half sphere pockets, and they pour what's similar to like pancake batter in it, and they add maybe a tiny bit of pickled ginger, some scallions, some thinly chopped green onions, depending on where you're from and what you call those, and then a nice little chunk of chewy octopus. And then they use chopsticks to kind of like stir the batter and flip them, so it creates these perfect little pancake balls with a raw center, or partially raw center, and a nice chewy piece of octopus in the middle. And then they'll typically plate up like 6 of those, and then they hit them with sosu, which is just like a sweet black sauce, and then dashi, not dashi, bonito flakes. Sweet. So we'll turn it here just to save the social interaction. Good job, you're over half a mile. But then they'll put this like fish flakes on top that have a very strong flavor. They're great. And in Dontonbori there'll be street vendors making these things by like the hundreds, and they're amazing. It's definitely a step up, or culture step, if you're not used to chewy, raw, fishy textures all together, right? It might not sound very palatable or delicious. And if I'm honest, every time I eat it, I'm gonna do a couple more hinges. Every time I eat it, it is like not my first choice, but Osaka is by far the best place to get them. So on Friday, I will wake up at 4:30, probably take 2 trains to get out there by like 5:15, and then we'll do our 1 mile fartlek around Dontonbori. At 5:15, it should be pretty much a ghost town. Like, Dontonbori is like the nightlife spot you go to. There's also lots of like izakaya, which are like drinking, snacking bars. So there's definitely a good food scene there as well. But what I would have preferred was doing the fartlek at night and like getting all the neon and by the river and all that would have been super cool, but it just doesn't work with my surgeon schedule. But this is a 16-week program and I go to Osaka pseudo regularly, so we might have another chance to see Don Tomboli a different way. So you're probably excited. I'm still like, it's not exactly what it could be, but it's still cool. Because on Friday I take a morning train back to Tokyo, so can't do the evening shot. Thursday I can't flip a workout either because Thursday night I'm with surgeons too late. All the fun stuff, right? Form check. You squeezing the walnut? Do you have a nice safe lean? Tucking your tailbone. Core activated. Back strong, shoulders rolled back. I know we're walking, but we're not leaning back with bad form. We're training up towards a run because we have a run in 2 days. And eventually, we're gonna start to repeat all this distance by running instead of walking. So your long walks are gonna be replaced with runs, which is super exciting. Some of you will get the first accomplishment of running a complete mile. Like, that's gonna happen for you. It's gonna be super cool. It'll be hard. It's still hard for me. Actually, every day that I show up for this stuff, it's still hard. I don't know. Over the 31 years of my life, I've never found that fitness gets easier. Doesn't mean I don't get stronger. Doesn't mean I don't lose maybe a little bit of weight, or gain a little bit of mobility. But every time you show up, you're having to fit this into the busy clutter of your life and your responsibilities. So the prioritization is hard psychologically. It's not necessarily fun. At least to me. We've talked about de-affirmation versus affirmation. So if you're an affirmation person and you can find that runner's high, and by all means stay upbeat and positive. It's funny, my wife just started another workout program on Beachbody. So they do P90X and Insanity, and they have some great coaches. So now that I'm making fitness content, I watch the videos just to see how they coach. I'm like, why are they smiling? That's always the first thing for me. Like, you're in the middle of a squat. It doesn't feel good. We don't need to smile, people. We know it sucks. But instead we're just gonna positive our way through it. I don't know. Again, this program, maybe it's for the other side of fitness, the other half of folks that just need some snarky, sarcastic realism in order to show up and do the hard thing. You know, she was doing planks and she was like, you could do anything for 30 seconds. And that's like an expression that's used across a lot of those workouts. Like, oh yeah, you could do anything for 30 seconds. Let's do some plyometric jump lunge things. And you know, they're like, oh yeah, and they're just like energetic and doing their crazy jump squat thingies. You know, they're doing their just do it rep basically, and upbeat and positive about it. And you see people like, because they have a crew right when they do this stuff, and they're all coordinated and they're all like sweating but still smiling. And me on the other side, I'm like, Oh man, I know that bro is dying on the inside. Like, that's not fun. I'm doing the workout right now. It's not fun for me. So everybody has a different mindset. I don't want to throw rocks at that mindset. It works for people. It doesn't work for me. And I just want to create space for both of you. I think I'll bring this up throughout the program. And maybe I'll become more content over time on just being who I am and how I navigate fitness. But waking up at 4:30 a.m., coming out here, going for a long walk, making space for this is hard. I wouldn't define this as fun. Doesn't mean I can't find enjoyment in the process or the outcomes from the process. And we're gonna sit over here and enjoy a river and reflect and clear our head. But that's still a discipline. Like, I still feel in a hurry to pack up for my Osaka trip and go get breakfast going. I'm gonna sit here and think for 3 to 10 minutes with you. It's hard. But when I walk back up these steps, I'll probably be in a better mindset, because we do the hard things, even if they suck, even if they're inconvenient. All right, friends, here's your quiet time. I don't have an intention or anything for you, so feel free to use this time as you need it. So actually, I have to go to the bathroom, which is right over there, and then I'll come and do this. So I'm just gonna let you hang out on a river rock for a minute, and I'll be right back. Let's see. Y'all stay right there, okay? Enjoy your 3 minutes. Dad, I'm back. Let me catch like 2 minutes with you. That's a good one, friends. Hopefully that was enjoyable for you. I got what I needed out of it, which is cool. I will say the bathroom break in the shed was terrifying. There's like huge spiders in the ceiling, and then there's some kind of giant hornet moth hybrid insect aggressively attacking a light, but like within my peripheral. So definitely anxiety inducing, but it was nice to sit by the river and chill with you. So keep showing up, keep doing hard things. Tomorrow you have Moose Stretch B and Moose Lift B, most likely in Osaka, if I show up and do what I say I'm gonna do. So anyway, see you around, friends.